welcome you to this very important press conference. This is the second press conference where you will be seeing this amount of money displayed as part of our recovery method and the fight against corruption. I want to believe this is one of the most important tools we are using to fight corruption in Sierra Leone as we continue to make gains. So today's event is to justify that. You hear a lot about it when the Commissioner will be speaking, but just rest assured that as a country and as an institution, we are on the right trajectory in ensuring that Sierra Leone becomes a country where corruption is at the barest minimum. So, ladies and gentlemen, present, and all the viewers, television stations, live, people of Sierra Leone and beyond, pray silence while the Commissioner of the ACC Sierra Leone will make a statement at this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here again today in one of our public education drive to draw attention to the issue of corruption, but most importantly, to help you understand what we are doing about it. As we all know, Sierra Leone has gone through a lot. We have a story that is difficult to explain. A country where we have a lot in terms of resources, in terms of the human capital, in terms of the things that can make us prosper. Yet, we have not been able to make much gainway as a country. Even though we must recognize that a lot of efforts are being made by individuals and sometimes collectively to change the story of this country. Myself and my team at the ACC have remained committed to ensuring that we join the efforts of the good people who want to change the story of Sierra Leone by putting the interest of the country above individual interest. So today, what you see here is part of our recovery efforts for monies that have been lost to corruption. But because we have promised that our interest is not just to go after the people and punish them, but to make sure whatsoever they stole, they must bring it back home safe. And this sea of money you see here today is actually the equivalent of 15 billion old loans, or now we call it 15 million new loans. But the money was stolen in old loans. And what you see here is just a small part. 40% of what one man sitting in a bank stole from Syria. One man. His name is Salim Mansai. He alone stole 34 billion euros plus of money that was meant for NRA and used it for his own purposes. If you can recall, this issue came out, civil society were involved. It involves the bank. The bank, which by the way is EcoBank, they did not really commit any criminal offense. They only had a staff who was a criminal. And that staff, working with other people, chose to create a device to steal money that was destined to go into NIA accounts and applied it for his own personal. But when we became aware of this, we sat with the bank and told the bank, look, this is your staff. You were supposed to set up systems to avoid this money from being stolen. Therefore, while we are going after that staff to bring back that money, you as a bank have to return the money to us. And the bank, recognizing the good relationship they've had with Sierra Leone, EcoBank is a fantastic bank. Very professional. But if you have staff who are bad, you have to take some blame. Therefore, we asked EcoBank to pay back the full 34.6 billion, 34.2 billion euros. And they have agreed to pay, and we started with 15 billion euros, which is now in front of you. The balance will be paid every month starting January, 2.2 billion euros until September, which will total the full amount that was found to have been stolen by the gentleman called Salim Manzai, a criminal, serious criminal, from the people of Syria. Now, as for Salim Manzai, somebody will ask what happened to him. It was not the end of the matter. We have charged him to court for his crimes, and he has been convicted of a criminal offense on Friday. And after the conviction, his accounts were frozen. We froze his accounts. One of them had 800 million inside, another had 12 million in, the other one had about 160 million. We froze all of it. After he stole this money, just like the other gentleman, Volker, who has run away to the US, he ran away to Dubai. Whilst he was in Dubai, we just make sure we close every tap that he will have access to money. And he got strangulated in Dubai because he did not even have money to eat. Because of that strangulation, his lawyers came to me and said, this man will die in Dubai if he does not come back. I said, okay, let him come back. But when he comes back, I am going to charge him. And after charging him, we are going to make sure we render him bankrupt, so he does not benefit from his crime. But he will also have to cooperate with us, for us to go after every other person involved in that crime. And that is how he came back from Dubai to Sierra Leone. We have charged him and convicted him. He has been fined by the court and he has paid. We have also gone after his accounts, and we are going to clear all the money in his account. The only money that we agreed will be paid back to him was monies owed to court creditors, which is about 250 million euros, and also the lawyers' fees who were representing. The balance, we are going to clear the account completely and give back to the people of Sierra Leone in addition to the 34 billion euros that we have taken. But also, this is to bring to the attention of the public what we are talking about. If one man who is not even a government minister, he is not heading any public institution, he has not held any position, could sit in one corner and steal 34 billion. What you are seeing here. Imagine if that is happening on a large scale. How can this country prosper? Where will the government get money to build schools, hospitals, roads, provide for the children, ensure that we have electricity, ensure that we feed ourselves, ensure that the governance architecture operates properly? And this is why, from time to time, we have brought things like this to your attention as the public to see what we are talking about, because we are dealing with a country where illiteracy is high. When we say somebody stole 34 billion euros, people don't even understand what that amount that is. This is just a small part of 34 billion euros that one man stole. That is what is on all this table, one man. This Salim Manzai, when he ran away and went to Dubai, we arrested his wife, and his wife came to my office. She sat, a very young woman, got married to this man. She does not even have a car. She sat in my office and said, It's been 3 days. I don't even have money to feed my children. I didn't even know that this man was having access to this amount of money. And I told her one of his accounts that we have now frozen had 800 million euros inside. She was shocked. So you ask yourself, what are these criminals doing with this money that is steal from Sierra Leone? If they cannot even feed their own children. It's extreme wickedness. What I can promise you is this. The story of this country will not remain as it has been. It will change. And all of you and all of us have to continue working hard to make sure that the ones who have inflicted pain on this country will also inflict serious pain. We make sure that they do not sleep. And we have to do this. God being our help. This is not in any way to shock the minds of people. It's for people to see what has been happening in this country. How individuals place their own interest above the interest of the country, to continue to impoverish it, to make sure that the good efforts of other people are not seen. But I am also calling on all Sierra Leoneans to join the efforts of good people to see how we can change this. And the only way we can be able to change this is for people to come up, to help us go after them, to serve as witnesses. Go to the truth. And do not support your children. The country will not change. Because thieves will make sure that we don't have good roads, good hospitals. We don't have good schools. Our children do not grow in a country that is safe. Our policemen, our soldiers are not provided for. Our governance architecture is built on poverty. And above all, we are the laughter of the rest of the world. Because they will say we have gold, diamond, bauxite, we have minerals, we have vegetation, we have educated people. All kinds of PhDs exist in this country. Our story is one of those that we should sit down and reflect on. Why are we here? But today, I am showing you why we are here. One man stole 34 billion euros for himself. Imagine you have 15 of them stealing 34 billion euros for themselves, and others stealing 10 billion for themselves, others stealing 100 billion for themselves, and all of them are living in air-conditioned houses, enjoying themselves. How would we progress? I leave you all to reflect on this as I now invite questions. Thank you very much.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, questions, your name and the media house or blogging. Raise your name and the make sure your question is very brief. Yes, go ahead. Yes, you are recognized.
My name is and I work for Ethnic Times magazine. Mr. Commissioner, why so we thank you so much for the fight against corruption, and all of us condemn corrupt officials. And I want to draw your attention to human aspect of the Mr. Mansari. You just gave a story of his wife being stranded at home without food for days, frozen his account. You've already mentioned in various banks, and you leave me cashless, considering the fact that he has already paid or the money has already been recovered from him. Where does this wife get to going forward?
Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry. I want to deal with that question first, then we can take time. I represent the people of Sierra Leone. I am more interested in where the children of Sierra Leone, thousands and millions of them, are going to get food. She married a thief. and gave birth to a child for a thief. And that thief stole all this money and more that you are seeing here. His lawyers were with me this morning. He already has a 250 million debt with people who are running after him. And I told them that my interest is to make him bankrupt. And I asked them, do you know what bankruptcy is? And the lawyer says, I have an idea. I said, well, let me explain it to you. Bankruptcy actually means your inability to pay your debts. So people come after you to say you owe them, but you cannot pay. That is what bankruptcy is. And it is my desire to make this man bankrupt for life. I am a freedom fighter for the people of Sierra Leone. I don't care about him. And I'm not worried about the fact that his family will go to bed without food. Because that is what people have done to many children in Sierra Leone for years. Children who go to school, there are no learning material. Hospitals without drugs. Once I went to the hospital my daughter was sick, and I took her to the hospital in the eastern part of Sierra Leone, the children's hospital. What is that hospital? There's
Cottage.
Cottage. Yes, it is cottage or Holaduri. We went to Dr. Robin Coker at Congo Cross. The place was locked. It was a holiday. And then I took my daughter to that hospital. She was convulsing. When I entered the hospital, I saw one hospital bed, 3 children lying on it. One of them was peeing, and the peeing was coming on the other ones. In this country. I stood there with my daughter in my hands. And I made a decision that I will not allow her to be admitted in that hospital. And I had to leave. Mister, do you know who is doing that to Sierra Leone? For 3 children to lie on one hospital bed and one is peeing on the other. It's people like Salim Masai who stole this kind of thing. So I'm not worried about strangulating him. The same way I strangulated him. Me and my team, we have very amazing staff at the ACC who are doing a great job, particularly those in the investigation department doing work like this. We made sure we tied a noose around him that he himself could not survive in Dubai. He begged to come back. And we charged him to come. And it is the same way we are going to clear his entire account so that he does not have money. Or if anything, let him start from scratch. So I am sorry. I am more concerned about the children of Sierra Leone than one man who is a thief, his children. Any other question?
Yes.
Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Bakari Kamara. I do write for the Equity newspaper. First, I want to congratulate you. Now, Mr. Salim Masai has been convicted, and he has received this huge amount of money from him. Are you going to display him at the constitution just like we did with the teachers who we are not convicted? Thank you.
I would have loved to tie Mr. Salim Mansari to the cotton tree. But unfortunately, you people in Sierra Leone said you do not want that. The president apologized publicly. And in the hall where he apologized, while I sat in my office watching, hundreds of people in that office clapped and rejoiced. It meant the people of Sierra Leone did not want anybody displayed at the cottage. I am a public servant. I do not work for myself. And I agree that if the people of Sierra Leone don't want that, I shouldn't do it again. So we will not be taking Mr. Salim Mansari to the cottage, even though I, Ben Kaifala, want to tie him to the cottage so that every Sierra Leone can see him. But it was openly rejected, and the president apologized as father of the nation on my behalf, and I accept that wholeheartedly and thank him for doing so on my behalf. We have moved on from that. We are now in new stages. Instead of displaying him, we are now displaying the money that he stole. So nobody can come for my head and want to cut it. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Mahmoud Sina from the Nature newspaper. Mr. Kaifala, displaying this amount of money here, I'm a bit worried about the security of this facility. So, continue with this trend, you need to ensure that the security of this place is secure. You heighten the security system because you don't know what the criminal might plan.
The security is very watertight. We made sure we put in place proper security systems before this money will be displayed. And it is going to be returned. The bullion van is parked outside. And the gentlemen from Access Bank, are you here? You see these gentlemen, they are bankers. After this, they are going to return this money into our recovery file. And after returning it to our recovery file, we are going to hand it over to the government of Sierra Leone through the Ministry of Finance. But firstly, we have to ask the President what to do with this money because he will tell us what to do with it. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Good afternoon. I'm Kurt. Is it for equality? I really want to know how did Salim manage to siphon so much money meant for the NRA and the period under which he did all this with his accomplice?
So what Salim did was when people deposit checks into the bank for the benefit of NRA, he will basically say the checks are faulty. They cannot be scanned within the Bank of Sierra Leone system. And then he will do a letter from his bank, EcoBank, to the bank that has money on behalf of his client, asking them to credit NRA account with them. But what he will do when he's writing that letter, he will change the BBAN from the account of NRA. He will put NRA, but put the BBAN, for example. What is your name?
Kaifala.
Kaifala. If you have an account with EcoBank, he will instead put your BBAN there. You understand? Now, the people at that other bank do not have a way of verifying whether that is NIA account number because it is not an account held by them. It's an account held by EcoBank. So once he has changed that BBAN, which includes the account number, the money eventually comes after clearing it at the Bank of Sierra Leone, but it does not go into NIA account, it goes into your account. But this man is such a criminal that he has already arranged with you for you to have access to this money. So you will go and start withdrawing it 300 million and you bring it to him and he will give you 50,000 euros for your transport. That is how in one account alone, an account held by a gentleman called Magnus Cole, he too has been convicted Friday in court. In Magnus Cole account alone, he made sure 29 billion euros passed through that account. And then another 5 billion euros passed through a lady's account called Taluja. Do you see how thieves are clever? For a man to be able to develop this kind of complex system to steal money, it tells you how people, the length at which people are ready to go to make sure that this country does not move forward. And that is why we all have to continue putting in the effort. The same way they cannot get tired, we will not get tired. We'll go after it. And I'm very thankful that my team are committed to this at the ACC. The investigators, led by the lady there, Evelyn Kuyate, please stand up, let them see you. She's a very strong woman, powerful. That is the woman that is responsible for recovering all this money. Clap for her. All of us. Her and her team, they are doing an amazing job. If we give you the total of money that we have recovered since 2018 to now, it will shock your mind. Some of it we don't even bother to announce anymore. Because every day we are recovering. So Evelyn, you and your team, continue the hard work. We are grateful for everything we are doing. We provide the leadership and environment to make sure those who steal from us don't only face the consequence and punishment of the law, but they also return whatsoever they stole, where possible with interest and other consequences. Thank you very much.
2 more questions.
Yes?
Yeah, 2 more.
Yes, sir?
I want to know what measures, what preventive measures ACC Commission can give to those bank institutions to focus men is being done by their staff. It is more expensive to solve problems than to prevent them.
So you're asking what preventive measures? What I can tell you is this investigation was very thorough. And I've had meetings with the National Revenue Authority. We have had meetings with the Bank of Sierra Leone. We have had meetings with all managing directors of commercial banks separately on this issue. And she and her team put together a beautiful report of how this happened. And in that report, we recognized that one, the National Revenue Authority are at fault. They could have done reconciliation, periodic reconciliation, which could have identified this problem early, and then we will not have somebody stealing billions. So if their reconciliation system was effective, this could have been averted. At least he would have told him, but he will not steal the volume that is stolen. We also went to Bank of Sierra Leone. We asked them, gentlemen, let's be serious with ourselves. What are you people doing? There are serious problems in the banking sector. Government money is not being protected enough. What can we do? And we made our recommendations to them too. The bank governor is a gentleman. We spoke with him. We understood the problem. We had a meeting where we agreed what should be done. There's another gentleman who is responsible for banking, Mr. Sama. Also, we spoke. And other directors, banking supervision, and all of them, we agreed that there were lapses that needed to be covered. And as I speak with you, they have already started taking steps that can change the system for these things to happen. We also met with the commercial banks. And we pointed out to them that government money is being stolen under your watch. Now, this is what is going to happen going forward. If government money is stolen by your staff, you will pay. That is why they have paid this one. Because for years, even when I was just a lawyer, I know that the ACC has been having challenges with commercial banks, particularly when it comes to NIA. The difference was ACC was not going after the bank. ACC was focusing on the individual. Now, if any bank does not put in place proper systems, they are careless, their internal control systems are weak, and NRA money is stolen, we will charge that bank to court like we did with Ecobank. And I believe that is going to be the game changer. Because no bank wants to pay back money stolen by one staff in this kind of body. But also the reputational damage that comes with them being charged under the, what is that act called? The Anti-Terrorism and Weapons of Mass Destruction Act. And Weapons of Mass Destruction Act. You see how long that is? No bank wants that to be associated with them. And we'll make sure we charge them under that act because we have the power. All we can do is to make sure we are fair with them. For example, like I have said, the bank here was very professional. We had a great relationship with them. They understood the need to keep their relationship with Sierra Leone without admitting personal fault or without admitting that they themselves did anything wrong. They said, no problem, Commissioner. We will pay back the money that our staff caused to be stolen. That staff is a criminal. That Salim Masari is a serious criminal. I want him tied to the cotton tree. Seriously tied to the cotton tree. But I cannot do it. You people don't want the cotton tree. But every press conference I hold, you ask me about the cotton tree. You don't want it. You didn't want it. You were writing on Facebook and social media, Ben Kaifala must go. And now every time we arrest somebody, you ask me, are you going to take the person to the cotton tree? No, nobody is going to the cotton tree. Because you people said you do not want people displayed at the cotton tree. They are your uncles, they are your aunties. You are worried that your uncles who are criminals will be displayed that way. I will listen to you because that's what I do as a public servant. I'm not a fool. Yes. Just send him a Commissioner, I did mention that the bank also can pay. It is the bank that pays this money. So the bank will be indicted also. We indicted the bank. Did you follow this case where we indicted the bank? Okay. It's after that indictment that we now reach a settlement that brought this money. Okay? So don't worry. We have now seen the jugular. Any bank that makes people steal money in their bank, that is money of Sierra Leone, that bank will be charged to court. And I'll make sure that happens. No bank will work. No. One or two more, there will be two more.
Okay.
No lady has asked. So we'll give an extra bonus for a lady. No, you can ask, but we'll give an extra bonus for a lady. Yes.
After the recovery, is there any punishment for this?
It's all the money in his account in Sierra Leone should be forfeited to the ACC and other consequences. He has also paid a fine in addition. So there are consequences. Yes. Yes.
Between the bank and the individuals, who is
that is a question for you, sir. Between the bank and the individual, who is it? Answer it. Yes. If you steal money and your father and mother pay for you, does that make your father and mother thief? But they are recognizing that you are a thief. And you are not a child. That is what happened here. Yes.
After you have already said that Ibrahim Salat is the voice of Salomon.
Yes, Ibrahim.
After you have already said that you have committed, also collaborating with Salim to commit this crime, what is their charges and what to their account?
So the investigation still continues, and one of the things we have is we made a deal with Salim and Saeed to cooperate with us to go after those other people. So that aspect is still under investigation. So we left no room for anybody to escape. So there is likely going to be another indictment under this file, targeting people who facilitated Salim to commit this crime, who is now helping us. He has been calling names. He has audios. If you listen to some of those audios, you'll be shocked. He has audios. People who were telling him, Salim, what you see, you don't go to buy. So you can't calamity for this country. Don't come back. People were actually telling him that. But the issue is still under investigation. And part of our deal with him is for him to cooperate with us to go after him. And we have already made sufficient, significant progress in that regard. We have made statements, we have made arrests, and a lot of them are on bail. Some of them have run away anyway. But we'll charge them even when they are gone out. Like we charged the other gentleman from UBA. Whether you go everywhere, we made sure we change the law in 2019. If you run away, run away. We'll see charge you and convict you. So one of the things we do is you never come back to Sierra Leone, you die there. But if you have properties in Sierra Leone after we convict you, we go after the property and sell it. Yes.
Any lady? Any lady?
No lady has a question?
One lady.
Aha!
Good afternoon.
The lady has the last word, yes.
I'm Susan Masako from Mercy TV.
Yes, Susan?
Yes, sir. Due to this money they are received, I hope we are going to have better health facility and also the schools to have better and to benefit from this money, sir.
I also hope so, Susan. I can only hope. We receive these monies, we hand them over to the government, and the government says this is what we are going to do with it. We all can only hope, and we hope to use it judiciously.
Thank you, sir.
In the absence of that, Mr. Sandy, your name is Honest. All right, because he's an honest man, we allow him, yes?
Talk loud.
Are you also going So the way this money are going to be used and the comes to provide those facilities that are going to ensure that the Commissioner for the ACC
Yes, we will set up system to make sure that the money does not go back to the problems where it has come, so that it is used for more judicial purposes and it is used effectively. So that we are going to do. We have departments, the commission, particularly the prevention department, which are responsible for this. The gentleman there is the deputy director there. He will work on that, but there are other teams who are also working on it. So I can assure you that we work in government. One thing I can tell you is, in addition to the fact that we are fighting corruption more strongly now, the accountability regime and system in the public governance of Sierra Leone has also improved. And that is why all those who have been measuring corruption, year in, year out, have come back to say, truly things are changing. So, for example, recently the WHOPPIng Index came out. And the WHOPPIng Index came out, and we are singled out in their press release as one of 7 countries with the most improved system of accountability in the entire world. If you go and Google it, you see it there. When they did that same survey 10 years ago, we were among the worst countries. Transparency International, in 2017, we were at 130. Today, we have jumped up 20 places, 20 or 22 places. We are now at 108. We are doing better than most countries in Africa. The same thing, Afrobarometer survey confirms that corruption prevalence has reduced drastically this year. So, and this is where it gets tricky. People usually, oh, Ben, this year when they say, oh, don't feel in our pocket. We don't know what they talk so, blah, blah, blah. I agree. Macroeconomics does not trickle down to the pocket very quickly. There will be change because corruption is a macroeconomic issue. The fight against corruption is a macroeconomic issue. It will trickle down to microeconomics, which now comes into the pocket of the individuals over a period of time. Because as things improve, as the governance architecture improves, as more and more systems are there, the economy is better, and things are working better over a period of, let's say, 10 years, then the country will start benefiting or feeling the effect of the kinds of things that we are doing. But if you now think that because Ben Kaifala has discovered 34 billion euros working with his team at the ACC, therefore every problem in Sierra Leone has to be solved, I am sorry. It doesn't work like that. Although I would want that to happen. All we can say is that let us all continue putting in the effort that we can to continue changing the story of Sierra Leone. On this note, I want to thank all of you for coming, for being here, for helping us disseminate the message of the kinds of work we are doing. We want to thank the President, President Julius Madabio, for the commitment and dedication to the fight against corruption. His support has been unflinching, and it is that support and the environment that he has created that has made us to be able to do all of this, to produce the results that we are producing. So we thank the President for his great work. We thank his team, his government officials, including the Chief Minister and every other person, the Vice President, who are all doing what they can to help us change the story of Sierra Leone. Similarly, I want to thank the people of Sierra Leone for their continued support. You cannot fight corruption without the buy-in of the people. If the people don't stand with you, if the people don't stand behind you, if the people are not committed to ensuring that you succeed, you cannot succeed. So people of Sierra Leone, kudos and thank you to you all. Most importantly, I want to thank my team. The gentlemen here represent a microcosm of the team at ACC. Please now let us clap for you all. The ACC team, let's clap for you. You are all hard-working people. Well done, well done, well done, well done. On behalf of the people of Sierra Leone, we tell you thank you. We tell thank you to those who are not in this press conference here, but who are still working very hard, who continue to work very hard for us to change the story and image of Sierra Leone. Mr. Sandy, over to you. Thank you for organizing this press conference. Thank you. And thank you for the amazing work you are doing with your team as we continue to lead one of the fiercest but very fair fight against corruption in Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's the People's Commissioner. That is the voice of the People's Commissioner. So, on that happy note, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Fourth Estate, thank you very much for coming, and always count on us to be giving you sufficient and adequate information on the fight against corruption. We'll have your transport reform after this. Can we please move